Stand still!
Greetings YouTube, I'm Evening, and I'm here to talk about games you probably never heard about. Today, I want to ask and answer one simple question. Should you play Samurai Western? Let's begin with what even is Samurai Western? Released in 2005 for the PlayStation 2 by Acquire, a studio that started off with creating the Tenchu series and recently have been co-developing the Octopath Traveler games, Samurai Western was a spin-off game for the other main series they had, Way of the Samurai. Welcome to one of the many ghost towns of the American Wild West. You play as Gojiro Kiryu, a samurai in a foreign land with a mission, find your brother. But the harsh Wild West doesn't like a man that flaunts around with a sword, especially the main boss of the area, Goldberg, aka Buff Eggman. Your quest leads you to fight through all of the Goldberg forces and in turn, helping save the town and its people. While the colors of the game may be dull and drab, that's kind of the point. Have you ever seen the Wild West? It's very yellow, and where color is needed, it shows up and does its job. I think that's the best way to describe all of Samurai Western's visuals. They do their job. Everything is clear. You can always clearly tell what is an enemy and what type of enemy it is, just from a glance. It's not a beautiful game, but it isn't something that stands out for being bad either. It has style, and it comfortably sits in the visual box it created. Personally, I enjoyed it. Especially the outfit of the bar owner. Why is her butt out? I don't know, but it certainly visually stands out. Music is filled with fun Wild West tunes that incorporate some Japanese sounds from time to time, but it does get quite repetitive, and especially, the sound of unlocking new stuff is absolutely grating. The highlight of the game audio-wise is without a doubt the voice acting. It's perfect. I mean, one of the main characters is voiced by Steve Blum.
He blew into this town like a prairie breeze.
When you have Spike Spiegel, of course, it's going to be magnificent. Other notable voices belong to Jennifer Hale, Tasia Valenza, Phil Lamar, Quentin Flynn, and Paul Edding. It's a whole Metal Gear Solid reunion party in here. Since the game consists of you trying to dodge or block bullets, audio design is very important so you can tell if a bullet is coming at you from somewhere where you can't see. And the game, I think, tackled the problem perfectly. Every enemy has a distinct voice line or a grunt to indicate their attack. So even without seeing anyone, you clearly know what sort of attack is coming your way. Kinda like how in Resident Evil 4, the villagers clearly state their intentions before shoving a sickle down Leon's back. And speaking of audio design, the sounds of deflecting bullets is so great. First of all, the game features co-op. The good old little brother type of co-op, where one player gets to play as the cool samurai that does badass things, and the other player, my so-called little brother, plays a useless cowboy. Well, at least he's voiced by Steve Blum. Since I don't have a little brother to play with me, this section is going to be only about the single player, but keep the supporting cowboy co-op in mind. Let's begin with the subpar. The game's combat is simple. You have one attack that can turn into a charge attack by holding down the attack button. That's all for the attacks. Next, you have a grab you can use on the objects in the level to use as cover or projectiles. Or even grab an enemy and have yourself a human shield. You also got a jump, which also gives you a jump attack. A more powerful strike, which is also quite risky. As mid-jump, you are defenseless and can get knocked down. The worst thing that can happen to Gojiro. Once knocked down, you just gotta take a beating. But if you are quick enough, you can press jump again before falling down to instantly recover. Now your defenses. By pressing circle or R1, you enter your defensive mode. If you stand still, you'll block all the bullets coming your way like that samurai jacklip. But if you move as you press circle, Gojiro spins and in turn, dodges. The last thing you can do is unleash your ultimate. Once your MP bar fills up, you can unleash the insta-kill mode, where you just turn every enemy into pieces, and a fountain of blood. It's pretty fun seeing all the zoom-ins into corpses. That's the combat for the most part. Not really that deep of a system. There are some little but very cool and quite important things. First of all, you can hit the incoming bullets to deflect them and send them back to the sender. So cool. A lot of times though, this is something you'll do unintentionally. You will be attacking someone while a whole other group shoots at you, and it just so happens that the bullets they shoot connects with your blade, and boom, deflection. The more important mechanic is the counterattack. If you dodge a bullet and hit an enemy fast enough after the dodge, your attack counts as a counterattack rather than a regular hit, resulting in more damage. As such, in order to maximize your chances of getting this extra damage, it's better to just constantly be dodging rather than blocking. Now the bad. The game likes to stun lock you and just instantly kinda kill you afterwards. By threat level, there are 3 main enemies you should fear that can fully stun lock you and make your experience into pain. The Riflewoman. Her single bullet sends you flying and instantly to the ground. She alone wouldn't be too bad, but she's rarely alone, and either everyone else will use this moment of your weakness to just pummel you, or, even worse, there will be 3 more Riflewomen just waiting for you to begin to stand up to shoot you again in a position where you can't react, resulting in another stun, followed by the same thing until you die. Next, we got the Bomb Ladies. These creatures either roll bowling balls of doom or just throw dynamite, and just like the rifle, a single hit puts you to the ground. The problem happens when you have a group of them, and the moment you fall, 4 more dynamite sticks appear around you, and you die before you can stand up. Lastly, we got the Tommy Gun Lad. He's both one of the easiest enemies, as dodging him is easy and fun, but also, if you do get stuck in his attack cycle, you just get pummeled like Scarface for a good minute. It might seem very hard to react to every attack only by my aforementioned audio cues, but don't worry, audio is the secondary hint. The first and most important thing to look at is the smoke. The moment an enemy has finished aiming and is ready to fire, they begin to smoke, giving you the signal that it's time to react. Another thing enemies can give are either food items for health, booze for MP, boots to make you run faster, or the best one, a barrel that makes your attacks explode on impact. All of this results in a game where at times you feel like a badass samurai deflecting, slicing and dodging like a true amazing master. But you do all this while only pressing 2 buttons, so it does feel a little shallow. And then this fun illusion breaks once you get put down to the ground like a dog and shot up by 7 men with their revolvers. The game has so many unlocks. Leveling up gives you titles and new swords. Beating high scores of stages unlocks accessories that you can put on Gojira. These can either plainly increase your stats, or do the good old minus here plus here type of deal. Leveling up gives you free stat points to spend that you can put into HP, MP, power, or defense. Personally, I focused on defense, as most of the time, from what I noticed, accessories focus on the other 3 stats, but I can't say for certain how much these stats mattered, as I never really felt a difference from the start of the game to the end. It felt like I died just as fast and killed just as fast. Now the swords. While yes, they are fundamentally very similar, the little differences they do have provide intriguing variety. They vary from your typical katana to bigger ones that hold a high stance, sheathed ones that you pull out for every attack, or even my personal favorite, dual wielding. The swords are also amazing in how they give you choice. You see, the swords aren't only a cosmetic thing, they can change how you play the whole game. Firstly, every sword type has a different ultimate mode. If you use your ultimate before it fully charges, as long as it has at least one of the quarters, you enter a weapon-specific mode. It can range from supersonic speed to time-stopping certain enemies, or even becoming invincible. Certain weapons can also give you new abilities, like double jumping, or they can take away parts of your typical skill set, like dual wielding, removing your ability to grab, or sheathed katanas not letting you block, so it gives you choices. In my personal experience, I didn't find myself using the grab ability all that much, so once I unlocked the dual wielding katanas, not having the grab seemed like perfect for my playstyle, and also, that's as close as I could get to being Zoro. Another thing with weapons is that the enemies drop these little silver coins from time to time. Once you collect 10 with a certain weapon, it levels up, increasing its stats. So now, it kinda incentivizes you to either stick with one weapon that you have leveled up, or to grind. Time to talk about the bosses, also known as the worst part of the game. I don't think there's a single good boss. There are only bad ones and the okay ones. Plus, a lot of recycling. I want to rant about the worst boss now, so please skip to this time step to avoid spoilers, because this is like one of the last boss fights, or just use the chapter thingy. Let me be a bitch and moan about the Randall fight. It's a fight that surely touches on every single bad ingredient of the game and turns it into a single bad, smelly sandwich. Hey, you like getting randomly stun locked? Well here, look at Rando, just bullying you. Isn't that great? Do you like attacks that kinda interact weird with dodging, resulting in you eating a whole magazine of bullets? Well, Rando got it too, don't worry. Do you like chasing an enemy through the whole map until he stops for a second to shoot you? And you better react fast, cause he only stops to hit you and then we are back again on the run? Rando got that too. And the worst part is that you can't normally hit Rando more than twice. On the third hit, he just stops you and throws you on the ground, where he can then shoot you and maybe even stun lock you. Rando has it all in spades. This is just such a bad fight where we spend 90% of it just chasing Rando, maybe getting a single hit in, and then again chasing him while also dodging his bullets but still getting hit. And then again dodging in the same way, but this time the dodge actually works. Good lord, do I love inconsistencies. The story is serviceable to say the least. It really boils down to the kind of cliche Wild West story where an outsider comes into a town and saves the people from the bad guys. The interesting part is how it's very Naruto-like with the brothers plot. The best part of the plot is hearing the amazing voice actors say the silliest of lines. Other than that, it's just the glue that kinda unites the stages. What I'm trying to say is that you are not playing this game for the plot. While the game itself is quite short, depending on how long the boss fights take you, as they are the hard part, and if you plan to do any grinding, the game takes over 3 hours. But it does have a lot of extra content. First of all, you can try beating every level with all the custom rules to make sure you unlock every accessory and every extra stage. Afterwards, once you beat the game, 2 new modes unlock. First, you get Survival. Battle through stages of the main game filled with enemies and then battle 2 bosses at once. What could be worse? Or you can now play through the hard mode on every stage. And the hard mode high scores have their own accessories. A new thing here is that now, levels have these floating wanted signs that once grabbed, unlock new character models for you to have fun with. And if you know that's not enough for your gamer heart to be fulfilled, once you beat every stage on hard, you unlock Insane, and even harder difficulty. Good luck with all that. So, to answer the question, should you play Samurai Western? Yes, I believe the answer is yes, but not a strong one. While sure, it does have its problems, mainly it's the boss fights. The majority of the gameplay is fun, and it achieves its main goal. Makes you feel like a badass samurai in a Wild West town. And what other games can give you such experience? Thanks for watching, greatly appreciate it. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe, check out my other Should You Play videos, or check out my other channel, Evening Man, for longer, more in-depth videos on games you probably never heard about. See you next time. I've been Evening, and this has been Samurai Western.